Subject: Truth, for the week of July 17th. Golden text: Psalms. The Lord's instruction is right. It makes our hearts glad. His commands shine brightly, and they give us light. Responsive reading: James and Galatians. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth. The wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. For we, through the Spirit, wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. Ye did run well. Who did hinder you, that ye should not obey the truth? I have confidence in you through the Lord, that ye will be none otherwise minded. For, brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Section 1. Psalms. Show me thy ways, O Lord. Teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. Give me understanding, and I shall keep thy law. Yea, I will observe it with my whole heart. Let thy mercies come also unto me, O Lord, even thy salvation, according to thy word. And I will walk at liberty, for I seek thy precepts. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. Righteousness art thou, O Lord, and upright are thy judgments. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. O send out thy light and thy truth. Let them lead me. Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my God. 2 Kings. I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. Science and health. God is what the scriptures declare him to be: life, truth, love. Dost thou love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind? It should be thoroughly understood that all men have one mind, one God and Father, one life, truth, and love. All that really exists is the divine mind and its idea, and in this mind the entire being is found harmonious and eternal. The straight and narrow way is to see and acknowledge this fact, yield to this power, and follow the leadings of truth. Truth and love enlighten the understanding, And whose light shall we see light? And this illumination is reflected spiritually by all who walk in the light and turn away from a false material sense. The eternal truth destroys what mortals seem to have learned from error, and man's real existence as a child of God comes to light. Section 2. Proverbs. Apply thine heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge. Buy the truth and sell it not, also wisdom, and instruction, and understanding. My son, give me thine heart, and let thine eyes observe my ways. 1 Kings. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, Ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. And I am but a little child, I know not how to go out or come in. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And God said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart. 1 Corinthians. As it is written, Eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. Science and health. Of a man it has been said, As he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Hence, as a man spiritually understandeth, so is he in truth. Spirit imparts the understanding which uplifts consciousness and leads into all truth. The rays of infinite truth, when gathered into the focus of ideas, bring light instantaneously, whereas 1,000 years of human doctrines, hypotheses, and vague conjectures emit no such effulgence. To grasp the reality and order of being and its science, you must begin by reckoning God as a divine principle of all that really is. Spirit, life, truth, love, combine as one. In the scriptural names of God, all substance, intelligence, wisdom, being, immortality, cause and effect belong to God. These are his attributes, the eternal manifestations of the infinite divine principle, love. No wisdom is wise by his wisdom, no truth is true, no love is lovely, no life is life, but the divine. No good is, but what the good God bestows. Understanding is a quality of God, a quality which separates Christian science from supposition and makes truth final. When understanding changes the standpoint of life and intelligence from material to a spiritual basis, we shall gain the reality of life, to control of soul over sense, and we shall perceive Christianity or truth in its divine principle. This must be the climax before harmonious and immortal man is obtained, and his capabilities revealed. Section 3. Psalms. I delight to do thy will, O my God, yea, thy law is within my heart. I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. Lo, I have not refrained my lips. O Lord, thou knowest. I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I have declared thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from the great congregation. John. Jesus went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him. And he sat down and taught them. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. The Pharisees therefore said unto him, Thou bearest record of thyself, thy record is not true. Then said Jesus unto them, When ye have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall ye know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me, I speak these things. As he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Jesus to those Jews that believe on him, If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. Science and health. Jesus said, Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Truth. Throughout all generations, both before and after the Christian era, the Christ, as a spiritual idea, the reflection of God, has come with some measure of power and grace to all prepared to receive Christ's truth. Christianity, as Jesus taught, it was not a creed, nor a system of ceremonies, nor a special gift from a ritualistic Jehovah. But it was the demonstration of divine love, casting out error and healing the sick. Not merely in the name of Christ or truth, but in demonstration of truth, as must be the case in the cycles of divine light. As aforetime, the Spirit of the Christ, which taketh away the ceremonies and doctrines of men, is not accepted until the hearts of men are made ready for it. Through discernment of the spiritual opposite of materiality, even the way through Christ, truth, man will reopen with the key of divine science the gates of paradise which human beliefs have closed, and will find himself unfallen, upright, pure, and free, not needing to consult almanacs for the probabilities either of his life or of the weather, not needing to study brainology to learn how much of a man he is. Section 4. Jeremiah. This shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will cure them, and reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth. Luke. Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Esaias. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity 18 years, and was bowed together, and could in no wise lift up herself. And when Jesus saw her, he called her to him, and said unto her, Woman, thou art loosed from thine infirmity. And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight, and glorified God. And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation, because that Jesus had healed on the Sabbath day, and said unto the people, There are 6 days in which men ought to work. In them, therefore, come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day. The Lord then answered him and said, Thou hypocrite, doth not each one of you on the Sabbath day loose his ox or his ass from the stall, and lead him away to watering? And ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan hath bound, lo, these 18 years, be loosed from the bond on this Sabbath day? And when he had said these things, all his adversaries were ashamed, and all the people rejoiced for all the glorious things that were done by him. John. These words spake Jesus, and lifted up his eyes to heaven, and said, Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy Son, that the Son also may glorify thee. For this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. Science and health. Our Master cast out devils, evils, and healed the sick. It should be said of his followers also, that they cast out fear and all evil out of themselves and others, and heal the sick. God will heal the sick through man, whenever man is governed by God. Truth casts out error now as surely as it did 19 centuries ago. All of truth is not understood, hence its healing power is not fully demonstrated. If sickness is true, or the idea of truth, you cannot destroy sickness, and it would be absurd to try. Then classify sickness and error as our Master did when he spoke of the sick, whom Satan hath bound, and find a sovereign antidote for error and the life-giving power of truth acting on human belief. A power which opens the prison doors to such as are bound and sets the captive free physically and morally. When the illusion of sickness or sin tempts you, cling steadfastly to God and his idea. Allow nothing but his likeness to abide in your thought. The only way to this living truth which heals the sick is found in the science of divine mind as taught and demonstrated by Christ Jesus. A Christian scientist's medicine is mind, the divine truth that makes man free. Truth is affirmative and confers harmony. All metaphysical logic is inspired by the simple rule of truth, which governs all reality. By the truthful arguments you employ, and especially by the spirit of truth and love which you entertain, you will heal the sick. Jesus marked out the way. Citizens of the world, accept the glorious liberty of the children of God and be free. This is your divine right. Section 5. Psalms. Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly, and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. James. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the heaven of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of firstfruits of his creatures. Whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. Galatians. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth? Science and health. Divine truth, life, and love gave Jesus authority over sin, sickness, and death. His mission was to reveal the science of celestial being, to prove what God is and what he does for man. Jesus taught the way of life by demonstration, that we may understand how this divine principle heals the sick, casts out error, and triumphs over death. Implicit faith in the teacher and all the emotional love we can bestow on him will never alone make us imitators of him. We must go and do likewise, else we are not improving the great blessings which our Master worked and suffered to bestow upon us. It is possible, yea, it is the duty and privilege of every child, man, and woman, to follow in some degree the example of the Master by the demonstration of truth and life, of health and holiness. We must resolve to take up the cross and go forth with honest hearts to work and watch for wisdom, truth, and love. The effects of Christian Science are not so much seen as felt. It is the still small voice of truth uttering itself. We are either turning away from this utterance, or we are listening to it and going up higher. Willingness to become as a little child and to leave the old for the new renders thought receptive of the advanced idea. Gladness to leave the false landmarks and joy to see them disappear. This disposition helps to precipitate the ultimate harmony. The purification of sense and self is a proof of progress. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Section 6. Proverbs. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. Psalms. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. Our hearts shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Science and health. Christian science demonstrates that none but the pure in heart can see God, as the gospel teaches. The substance, life, intelligence, truth, and love, which constitute deity, are reflected by his creation. And when we subordinate the false testimony of the corporeal senses to the facts of science, we shall see this true likeness and reflection everywhere. Truth is indeed the way.